So now I'd like to go into just some of the nature of breath, and then get into the qualities of the breath and how we can use the qualities of the breath to navigate any situation, whether it's bringing up some feelings of unworthiness, whether it's feelings of joy or excitement or love or deep empathy. So we could use the qualities of the breath to support us in our lives. The breath, coming from a movement background, my foundation in these practices, the way in my path being that of yoga asana, the breath was really interesting for me personally because it was something that I wasn't able to connect to right away, right? I was very much interested in the physicality of the yoga practice, the movement, the asanas, the physical practice of yoga gave me a sense of feeling here. So it dropped me into present moment awareness through mindfulness of movement and body. So the breath for me was hard because all my life I've had allergies and asthma. And for me, I just wasn't able to connect to breathing as being something that was soothing. It was quite the opposite, as a matter of fact. It was rather difficult. I have a deviated septum. Many of you can relate to this. So finding the breath in my practice didn't happen right away. It was only through a lot of practice and time that I was able to come into the breath and realize that I could manipulate the breath in a way that I was able to move prana or chi or life force energy down into my body. So that was actually the connection, right? Once I realized that the breath was a gateway to this life force energy, and I'm using some terms here that you might not be familiar with. So you could think of this prana or chi or ki, life force energy, this universal energy, it's sometimes called, as just being oxygen. So if we're just looking at it from a Western perspective, oxygen we could see is in the atmosphere. It's a vital source of being alive in this human form. And the only way for the oxygen to come in is through the act of breathing. So in the physical asana practice, when you're able to pull the breath in a very different way than you would in any other form of physicality, whether that being fitness or any kind of movement practice, in yoga we are moving with the breath leading the way. And so that connection in was through, for me, just quite the opposite. So the movement happened first, the breath came in and started informing the movement. And then I realized how powerful that act of breathing could transform the physical practice. So whether you're coming in through the body, whether you're coming in through the heart, whether you're coming in through the mind, the breath could be this vital component of energy. It's central to our vitality, this act of breathing. Whether we're pulling in oxygen, which we are, from the environment, or this universal life force energy, this more magical, mystical quality of aliveness, this animating force of being, we understand rather intimately how significant the breath is to this aliveness that's inside. The breath is also really critical in finding that steadiness and ease. And again, I'll use the yoga asana practice as an example. When we're in a difficult physical form, and you could think of a strenuous yoga pose, you could think of running up a hill, You could think of losing your breath in the wonder and awe, the beauty of life. We know that the breath is a constant companion to the experience at hand, and it will come in and act as a partner to stabilize or bring some stabilization or steadiness to whatever experience we're having. So, again, just using the yoga asana practice as an example, if I'm taking a deep twist, for instance, and I'm actually constricting where the physical breath can move inside the capacity of the lungs, the breath will find a way, it'll find a route or a pathway to come in and bring this force of energy to supplement and complement the shape that I'm asking my body to do. So we could think of not only the physical capacity of the breath, but what that does to the mental entanglement when the physicality of either a posture or form becomes overwhelming to the system. So if we're running up a hill and this is really taxing on the system, the breath will stabilize not only the system but the mind quite automatically, and we could trust that. It's central to the healthy functioning of all of our organs, glands, our major systems of the body, central to the quality of the blood in the system. If the blood is not oxygenated enough, we're simply not on a cellular level going to be able to function quite the same. Absolutely central to our brain functioning, our higher thinking, our ability to focus and gain clarity and problem solve, memorize, our emotional regulation. So breathing will automatically map the emotional experience that we're having because of whatever's happening in our lives. We often take the breath for granted. It's something that we could trust, and even if we're not able to trust the body breathing, we know that it's happening, or we wouldn't simply be here.